Kung ang pinag-uusapan po natin
Sumagot
dito,
ka muna. Tama o hindi? Ba't tayo mo sumagot?
tayo po kasi as captain.
Hindi, sasagot ka muna.
Opo.
Tinatanong lang, napakasimple eh. Pumunta siya sa supermarket, ito yung presyo. Pumunta sa B and C, ito yung presyo. Makakapamili siya, di ba? Madam Chair, ba't hindi siya makasagot?
Opo,
Okay.
doon sa example niyo po.
Okay, kaya kita tinatanong ng ganon. Sa kuryente, hindi siya may makakapamili. Wala kang ibang pupuntahan. Isa lang ang supermarket. Tama o hindi?
Opo.
Sumagot ka. Oh. Yun ang problema eh. Oh, Diyos ko. Thank you, Madam Chair. Not an opening statement, but I think an amplification of what you just said on systems loss. Sa akin pong pagkakaintindi rin, yung system loss kahit na dalawang klase pa yon, yung technical and non-technical, to me, they should be considered as legitimate business risks. Hindi kailanman pwedeng i-justify yon simply because ang mga players po sa energy sector, mapa-distribution, transmission or generation, Madam Chair, they all decided to go into this venture knowing all the risks involved. And one of those risks are the technical and non-technical aspects of system loss. Bakit ipapasa nyo sa tao yon, considering that alam ninyo lahat nung nagpasya kayo na gumawa, magbenta ng kuryente, ang mga stockholders were all knowledgeable na meron po tayong risk dito, meron pong nawawala. Kumbaga sa tubig, kagaya ng sinabi ng ating chairperson, yung tinatawag na non-water revenue. Kasi may tumutulo talaga eh. Bakit po niyo ipababayad sa tao yon? That cannot be justified. That's number one. Number two, sinabi po ng Korte Suprema in one of the landmark cases, any expense that the distribution utility in producing and distributing energy which did not inure to the benefit of the consumers is unjustified and inequitable. Paano po natin kukontrahin yun? Tama naman yun eh. I think these are the two major factors or major legal basis why the system loss ay kailangan na nating tanggalin na binabayaran po ng mga consumers. Unless anybody here is in a position to contradict those positions. Doubted by the chairperson and rendered unjustified by this representation. Kung meron pong gustong kumontra na po kayo ngayon. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Would the Senate President like to make a statement? I was already able to share what you sent me last night about the 80-year-old father who died because there was no electricity to allow him to use the nebulizer.
Magandang tanghali, Madam Chair. Senator Marcoleta, I thank both of you and everyone in the room for your work on having more reliable, efficient supply of electricity or power, and also lowering the price. As you know, there's major developments even before the Iran-Israel US war, wherein the World Bank was convinced to start lending for nuclear, which they haven't done in a long time, because of the fear that China will be leaps and bounds ahead of the Western world when it comes to AI, because AI requires so much power, no? And even before that, we have had problems with grids, with islands, with the energy mix and everything. So the only statement I want to make, Madam Chair, is two. Number one, hindi totoo na may delays under our administration. In fact, even after the shooting incident and attack against the Senate noong Wednesday, may BICAM ng Thursday on the voucher system sa House of Representatives, and I actually confirmed my attendance, pero sila ang nag-postpone nun. Yung pagpunta ng farmers dito, sila din ang nag-postpone. So I thank you for pushing through with this hearing. The second thing I want to mention is that, as you all know, the chairperson is my sister. So we share the same culture and language coming from one family. And we all know, pagka crisis, iba yung kilos. Di ba? So kung may exam bukas, kailangan mo mag-cram. Di ba? Kung bukas ang bayaran ng kuryente at hindi mo pa hawak ang pera, kailangan mong gawan ng paraan. So given the present crisis, it's actually an opportunity. Because things that we wouldn't have think of, no, whether it's the loans for new power plants, whether it's joint exploration, or whether it's Philippine side lang na exploration of oil and gas, whether it's the bills of Senator Marcoleta regarding the lifeline rates, etc. Yung mga to hindi natin iisipin kung hindi crisis, di ba? I'll give you an example sa Hindi Power. Sa K-12, nagdagdag tayo ng 2 years, pero sa findings mismo ng EDCOM, wala pang equivalent ng 8 years ang pagpasok ng mga bata. Okay? So nung K-10 tayo, kindergarten plus 10 years. Nakaka 10 years sila plus kindergarten. Nung nag-K-12, bumaliktad. Ang equivalent lang is 7 point something, less than 8 years. So this crisis gives us the opportunity na tanggalin ba natin 1 o 2 grade sa senior high school? Ganon din sa agriculture. Of course, we're doing a lot. Diba? But hindi kumikita yung farmers eh. Of course, we're giving subsidies sa logistic, pero nabubulok yung pagkain na walang nangyayari, no? So I just like to encourage the room to really, I know gas-gas na yung think out of the box, di ba? Pero kapag ka may crisis, pati yung box mawawala pag hindi tayo kumilos ng doble, triple, no? So I know it's not a one-day session, one hearing, finding solutions, but I really hope that it's not the statistics, eh, di ba? Yung, I sent that to my sister because numbers remain to be a statistic until you have a human face, di ba? So nung tinext na hindi nakapag-nebulize dahil walang kuryente, namatay, I hope we put a human face to our powers energy, no? And I'm not going to blame anyone in the room, no? Not the DOE, not the national grid, not ourselves. I'm just saying crisis. Let's find a way to get something done. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senate President. So just very briefly, my reminders for those who are new, we're practicing sustainability in the entire Senate. You have glasses. Feel free to refill your glasses. Ayaw natin ng PET bottles dito. Also, we're minimizing the use of paper. So, yung position papers nyo, we always welcome na digital ang submission nyo. Of course, kung may senator na gusto ng printed, we print naman for them. And then smoking, sitting is the new smoking. So you're always welcome to stand up, stretch your legs, hindi nyo kailangang magpaalam. I will always give the names of the resource persons who are next. So if you have to go to the bathroom, you don't need to ask for my permission. Okay, we're adults here. I will treat you professionally, and I want you to be mindful of your health also. So bathroom break, drink healthy water. I hope healthy yung pagkain na sinerve sa inyo. Hindi na yan pinaklear sa akin. Pero hopefully. Anyway, okay. So I think we're ready to start. I will give you all the order of our presentation by the resource persons. The first will be DOE, followed by ERC, and then followed by the Department of Finance. Okay? So let us now start with, and by the way, I think you were given your timelines. They are short. The reason being this is an overview. And I want everyone to have the chance to speak because you came all the way here. And then hihimayin po natin yung inyong mga statements in the following hearings or TWGs. And we will always have small group meetings naman po with all of you. So bear with us so that everybody can speak. Also, as much as possible, those who are here representing their principals, no, mga from the senator's offices, pakisabihan nyo naman yung the senators who you work with that ang ano natin, ang susundin natin is we let the resource persons finish speaking first, no? Since dalawa lang kami ni Senator Marcoleta, my rule always is kung dalawa lang, pwede naman mag-quick question, but I don't open the floor because hindi matatapos, hindi mabibigyan ng time lahat ng nag-abalang pumunta dito at magbigay ng oras sa atin. Okay, that's it for all my reminders. DOE, USEC, Mario Marasigan, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and good morning to all. The Department of Energy has submitted its position paper regarding the Senate bill on the system loss application of the BAT. And if I may read, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Dear Senator Cayetano, this refers to the April 6, 2026 request of the committee seeking the comments of the department on the above-mentioned bill. The department recognizes the necessity of the bill in granting the importance of providing clear parameters, measures, and criteria as prescribed therein. We posit that the system loss represents electricity that is generated but not delivered and not consumed by electricity end users. It is an inherent technical and operational characteristics of electricity transmission and distribution systems and should not be treated as a separate taxable transaction. Rather than being treated as a component of the sale of electricity, it is more appropriate characterized as a regulatory cost adjustment arising from technical inefficiencies, operational constraints, or non-technical losses such as pilferage. Imposing value-added tax on the system losses is inconsistent with the basic principle under Section 108 of the National Internal Revenue Code that value-added tax should apply to the actual sale or consumption of goods and services and therefore raises concern as to the fairness and equity of the electricity charges. From a consumer standpoint, this translates to higher electricity rate without the corresponding benefit in service, thereby increasing the effective cost per kilowatt hour and carrying the system loss itself. Imposing value-added tax on top of these losses further undermines the intent of the regulatory framework, which is to balance operational realities with consumer protection, and instead leads to form a double imposition on amounts that do not reflect actual service received. In view of the foregoing, we recommend further review and the appropriate tax treatment of system loss along with other relevant agencies. With fiscal considerations are duly recognized, this must be balanced with the overarching objective of ensuring affordable and reasonable electricity rates for consumers. We have also attached technical data requested, and this was provided with an online link. Lastly, we express our support in the passage of the said bill while also ensuring its consistency with the department's mandate and other existing and applicable fiscal, power, and energy-related laws, rules, regulation, and issuances, and give due deference to the committee in choosing a specific provision or language in the bill. Should you have any concerns, inquiry, Madam Chair, we have provided the contact person and the contact numbers as well as the email addresses. This is the department's position, Madam Chair, Honorable Senator Marcoleta. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that, no. Let me clarify, no. I was discussing kasi with my staff. Medyo malawak talaga yung topic natin today. If you can see, I won't read it into the record. 14 bills yung kino-cover natin. And I just want to emphasize, and my staff has informed me that they informed everyone that the focus talaga, and USEC naman mentioned one of the main components is dissecting the electricity bill para maintindihan ng tao kung bakit nga tumaas, kasi nga yung topic natin is yung pag-akyat nung the surge in the electricity bill. So yung na-focus nyo, USEC Mario, is one of the components, yung systems losses na bakit sila ang nagbabayad. But to be clear, as those here probably already know, basahin ko na lang to, no? 64% of the bill is the generation charge. 12% is the distribution charge. So ito yung, kumbaga si Meralco, siya yung distributor at yung ibang mga nagsusupply ng kuryente doon sa mga ibang lugar, yan yon. 12% charge nila yon. 11% is other charges. 8% is transmission charge. And 5% is systems loss. Pero dun sa other charges, banggitin ko lang, dito ho pumapasok yung government mandated and passed through. Ito yung VAT and energy tax, real property tax and local franchise, and then the subsidies, the lifeline subsidy, the senior citizen subsidy, and then the renewable energy allowances, the feed-in tariff and the green energy auction. Binabasa ko pa lang, napapagod na ako sa dami nung pinapasa natin, dami ng sinasalo ng consumer. So actually, Yusek, lahat yon I expected na magko-comment po kayo. Medyo mahirap kasi ang lawak talaga, no? So, okay lang kung systems losses muna yung binanggit nyo, pero very crucial yung statement nyo kasi kayo po ang DOE. Well, si ERC naman, ang dami doon na sila ang nag-approve ng rates. And then I also want you to point out kung ano doon yung mandated by law at ano doon yung hindi mandated by law. So, clear tayo yung mandated by law, kami ang gagawa ng amendment nun. Pero kung hindi yun specifically mandated by law, kumbaga binigyan lang ng power ang isang agency to determine, then we can also tackle that. So medyo dun tayo para the other resource persons can also give their comment, nakakasabay sa discussion. So again, malawak yan. Hindi ko na nga natapos kasi napagod ako sa dami nung karga ng ating mga kababayan eh. Universal charges, missionary electrification. Ito po ay nagfa-fund ng kuryente dun sa remote and off-grid communities. That's wonderful, right? Na yung off-grid, yung hindi nakakarating sa kanila yung mga transmission lines, tinutulungan natin. Pero sabi din ng mga kababayan natin, bakit kami? Bakit kami? Hirap na rin kami, tapos kami din ang nagbabayad niyan. The good news is, marami nang nakarating na kuryente sa off-grid, lumaki naman yung burden na kinikerry ng consumer. So, those are the realities. We have to understand it. As a Christian, siyempre sabi natin tulungan yung iba, pero minsan ang bigat na rin talaga sa kanila eh. So, saan pumapasok ang gobyerno, saan pumapasok yung private citizen na yung tulong niya. Kasama sa universal charges, environmental charge. Ito yung para sa rehabilitation ng watershed. And then meron pang NPC stranded debts. So, ang dami. Okay, so Yusek, kung yan lang ba muna ang focus nyo, yung sa systems loss, you did not prepare, you don't have anything else on the other, yung nasa electricity bill natin, do you have anything else to add?
If I may, Madam Chair, where we look at all the bills and we support po the study of all the components of our electricity bills for review.
Oo.
And ang hinahabol naman po ng Department of Energy is talagang to look for avenues on how we could lower the cost and make it affordable to our consumer. And we have actually listed some activities that we have already made in relevant to those activities. Like for example, yun sa ating lifeline rate, we are in coordination with ERC on how we could harmonize all the activities to further lower yung ating cost subsidy. We have also we have read some documents that indicates what have we done in support of all those bills, because we are continuously reviewing all the provisions of the law, particularly IPIRA, and to include the other energy laws. Kasi nga po, ang position ng Department of Energy is we deliver the services, but it should be affordable to our consumers. So we will submit po additional papers. Thank you very much po, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that. Tapos reminder lang, no, ideally wag niyo na hong basahin yung mga letters, mga submissions niyo kasi kami na hong magbabasa noon. I-highlight na lang, no. I-highlight na lang. Of course, kung may mga medyo technical doon that you have to read it, no problem. Maiksi naman yung binasa niyo, Yusek, pero that's my general rule, no. So we can absorb it. Mas madali sa akin yung kwentuhan katulad nung ginawa niyo. Okay, so let's go now to ERC, the chairperson and CEO, Attorney Francis Juan. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Honorable Marcoleta. We've submitted our presentation. In fact, we prepared two presentations, one on the different charges in the bill and also our position on all the pending Senate bills. May I just be allowed to present on the system laws to save on time, and so I can devote the 5 minutes to correcting some misimpression as regards system laws. Can we go to slide 8? Yung system laws po, hindi ito bayad para sa kuryenteng hindi naman nagamit. Ito po ay bayad para dun sa gastos nitong kuryente na ito na generate, dineliver through the transmission wire at nakarating sa distribution utility, pero because of the technical and non-technical losses that are allowed under 7832 to be recovered, sila ay hindi nakakasama doon sa kilowatt hours on which naiimposan nung kaukulang generation and transmission charges. So, kalintulad po ito, halimbawa, nagnenegosyo kayo, bumili kayo, nag-wholesale kayo, bumili kayo ng 1,000 isda, bangus, isang banyerang bangus. Ang gastos nyo ay 8 piso kada ulo ng bangus. Ang kabuang gastos nyo ay 8 pesos kada ulo ng bangus. Pero dito sa banyerang nakuha nyo, hindi naman lahat yan, hindi naman 1,000 bangus ang maibebenta nyo. Kaya, halimbawa, 5% niyan ang hindi nyo talaga mabebenta dahil bilasana o sirana o maaring kinupit ng tindera nyo, ito pong kabuang 1,000, halimbawa may 5% na nawawala or na hindi nyo na ibebenta, 950 lang talaga ang kabuuan na inyong nabebenta. Kung kayo ang magbebenta nito at gusto nyo balik puhunan lang yung 8,000 na inyong ginastos para do sa 1,000 na bangus na yan, magkano nyo ibebenta? Definitely hindi 8 yung original na per unit price. Isasama nyo dito yung spoilage, di ba? In manufacturing, kasama yan. Kaya kung ang maibebenta nyo lang kantidad ay 950, per unit cost niyan ay hindi 8, but 842. Yung 0.42 na yan po ang sumasalo doon sa gastos ng system loss. Ngayon, bakit hindi na lang distribution utility ang sasagot nito? Ang distribution utility po, hindi yan ang negosyo. Ang kanya pong negosyo ay yung maghatid ng kuryente sa pamamagitan ng mga linya na ipinapatayo niya. Ngayon, kaninong negosyo ito? Sa generation company. Kaya nga, ang distribution utility, pinapass through lang yan. So, dun po sa mga komento na dapat ay sagutin niya ng distribution utility, yes, merong portion yan ang ipinasasagot ng batas sa distribution utility. Kasi lumabis na doon sa itinakdang system loss cap, yung gastos na na-incur niya for its actual system losses. So, yan po ang nature ng system loss, kaya't mayroon tayong charge para mabawi yon, yung gastos na yon. Ang bumabawi ang distribution utility, pero ibinabayad din niya yan sa generation company at sa transmission company kasi nga po ito ay pass-through charges. So,
Chair,
yes po.
nakuha na natin ang ibig mo sabihin. Kahit na simplistic yung example mo, susundan kita ron eh. Ang example mo ay isang banyera ng bangus. Okay. So dahil sa merong loss doon, maaaring kinupit ng tindera o kaya biglang kahit na yung bangus ay hilado na pero lumundag pa rin, ano? Palagay mo lang ganun na nangyari. Ito yung mga factors na kaya kailangan makuha mo yung loss, yun ang sinasabi mo, okay. Sa mga tweet, yung banyera ng bangus na yon, kasama ng loss na yon, binenta mo sa supermarket A. Dahil siya na yung magdi-distribute. Tama? Yung generation, nasa sa'yo na, binenta mo sa supermarket A. Yung consumer ngayon, meron siyang option. Pupunta siya sa supermarket B o kaya C. Bakit kanya mas mataas yung bangus dito sa supermarket A? Pumunta siya sa B, medyo mura ng konti, ng 150 for example or 1 peso, o kaya sa supermarket C, mas mura din. Doon siya bibili. Tama?
Ito pong system,
Sagot ka muna. Siyempre, may option yung consumer. Nung makita niya, dahil binenta mo rito sa supermarket ganitong price, meron siyang option na mamili sa ibang supermarket. Tama?
kung ang pinag-uusapan po natin
Sumagot
dito,
ka muna. Tama o hindi? Ba't tayo mo sumagot?
Tayo po kasi as captain.
Hindi, sasagot ka muna.
Opo.
Tinatanong lang, napakasimple eh. Pumunta siya sa supermarket, ito yung presyo. Pumunta sa B and C, ito yung presyo. Makakapamili siya, di ba? Madam Chair, ba't hindi siya makasagot?
Opo,
Okay.
doon sa example niyo po.
Okay, kaya kita tinatanong ng ganon. Sa kuryente, hindi siya kami makakapamili. Wala kaming ibang pupuntahan. Isa lang ang supermarket. Tama o hindi? Opo, sumagot ka. Oh. Yun ang problema eh. Huwag din yung gagamitin yung ibang perishable commodities. Pumunta ka sa isang supermarket, meron daga na kumakain sa mga produkto. It's a loss. Merong mga nagnanakaw doon. Nangyayari yun every day. It's a loss. Hindi lang mga outsiders. Maring yung sarili mong nagtatrabaho doon, nagbubulsa. So loss lahat ito eh. Yung supermarket, yung loss na yun, hindi niya ipapataw doon sa prevailing price ng kanilang produkto. Kasi yung consumer has the option to go to other outlets. In the case of electricity, Madam Chair, wala silang option eh. This is our problem. Kaya pinipilit ko kanina, and I thank you very much, Attorney Juan, nung sinabi mo, na yung system loss, as you said, is an inherent operational characteristic. Inherent talaga to eh. Hindi mo mayaalis na mayroong mawawala. But this inherent operational loss is already admitted. It is known to all stakeholders bago kayo nagpasya na gumawa at mag-distribute ng kuryente. So it is a legitimate business risks that every industry should recognize. Ba't naman ang energy sector lang hindi nagre-recognize ng risks? Lahat ng industries have risks. Maski insurance company who cover for risks, meron din silang risk. Ito yung problema na madali naman nating intindihin. Madali naman nating gawa ng paraan. Eh di amend natin yung Republic Act 7832, ganun lang kasimple yun eh. Let's remove the system laws. As simple as that. Isang maliit na amendment lang ang gagamitin mo doon. And one thing more, Madam Chair, tingnan mo na lang yung universal charge. Tama yung sinabi ng chairperson. Yung universal charge, nandun, in order for us to bankroll certain areas na kailangan lahat silang ma-electrify, lahat makakita ng liwanag. Tama naman yun. That's not the objective of the government. Pero naglalaban sila nung feed-in tariff and JAP. Kasi yung feed-in tariff is supposed to capitalize the government's program para sa ganun, mas marami tayong renewables ma-operate. Kung marami tayong renewables na gagamitin sa lahat ng lugar ng ating bansa, o di ba bababa yung universal charge? Kasi hindi naman, at some point in time, yung universal charge, bumababa hanggang sa eventually mawala na. If we succeed on the renewables. Ang problema, sinasabi lang natin, by 2030, ganyan eh. Puro forma. By 2030, parang 40% yata, Madam Chair, renewable na tayo lahat. By 2040, 50% ang renewable. Oh, Diyos ko. Ay, hindi naman tayo papunta dun eh. So, magano tayo, ito yung sabi ko nga po, ulitin ko, Madam Chair, Korte Suprema na po ang nagsabi, any expense incurred by the distribution utility which did not inure to the benefit of the consumers is unjustified and inequitable. Which part of that sentence is not understood to everyone?
Madam Chair, gaya ng nasabi ko, yung distribution utility ay hindi engaged sa pagnenegosyo ng pag-generate ng kuryente.
Tama po,
Kaya
kaya
hindi yan
hindi niya dapat
nakakasama doon sa
isingilin
kanyang
yun. Tanggalin na lang natin.
personal expenses.
Kaya
So,
hindi siya
setting the
siningilin
rate
ng Meralco. Kasi kung wala na siya, hindi na recognize, hindi naman hiningil ang Meralco. We're not blaming anybody here. Ang pinag-uusapan, saan ang gagaling yung system loss. Sa generation lang naman, tsaka sa transmission eh. If you do not recognize that, walang kukolektahin ng Meralco. Problem solved. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Yes,
There, I thought you left when you
No.
said hi to me.
I was listening. Yes.
I recognize Senator Lauren
Thank you.
Legarda. Yes, you may take
Yes,
the floor.
Thank you, and I'm grateful to the chair for having so much in the agenda, including my two very important measures, which is clarifying the value-added tax treatment of socialized electricity subsidies. And since our expert in energy is right beside us, along with the chair, I would like to be clarified, Madam Chair, any competent authority, whether it's the NGOs, the private sector, or government, simpleng tanong po, yung hindi nagagamit na kuryente, bakit natin binubuwisan? Madam Chair, sa aking alam po, may 12% na pinapataw na value-added tax, VAT, sa systems loss. Narinig ko pong ERC na sinabi, ito'y hindi ginagamit, kumbaga sa isda, na bilasa, wala po. Bakit po binibuwisan ng 12% ang hindi nagagamit na kuryente? Pangalawang tanong, kung ano man ang sagot po nyo, ay dapat sumasang-ayon ba kayong tanggalin ang VAT kaagad dyan? Huwag ng batas. Sa implementation lang yan ng ating mga batas na nandyan na, kumbaga kung nakasaad yan sa EPIRA. At dapat ang BIR makipag-ugnayan sa ERC para ito'y mapatupad. Kung sang-ayon po kayo. Kung mali po ako, then please correct me. Kayo po ang mga experts. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With the permission of Senator Legarda, can I give the floor back to Attorney Juan, who's in the middle of his
Yes.
presentation?
Yes.
And since he was raising his hand, I assume he's going to touch on it. Sorry, let me finish before you, no. Let's have an orderly discussion. These are very good points. But I want you to continue with your presentation. You may answer, but I do want us to get to DOF, that who I think is also the right person to answer your question. So after his presentation, which I believe will touch on your question, then we will go to the DOF. Again, para lang mabigyan ko ng time lahat ng nandito na makapagsalita din. Oo. Okay.
Maybe para lang, just a one-sentence answer.
Mm-mm.
Tama ba ako or hindi kasi ako eksperto, ay mali ako? Ganun lang po.
Mm-mm. Go ahead.
Sang-ayon ba kayo?
Attorney Juan.
Yes po, kaya po siya nasasama doon sa nabubuwisan ng VAT dahil sa side ng generation company na nag-generate nun, kasama yon doon sa kanyang sales at pumapasok yun sa kanyang gross receipts. Kasi pag lumabas at nag-deliver niya yung kuryente sa distribution utility, kasama na yon sa kanyang kita. Kaya ito lang VAT on system loss dahil nga iniwalay natin yung cost na yan from the total generation charge, inilagay natin as system loss charge, yung VAT ay separately na i-impose dyan. But dun nga sa aming position, as we have communicated to the committee, we support all proposals, proposed measures para mapababa yung electricity rate. At kasama dito is redefining what should be the base for the VAT on electricity. At kung i-exclude natin yung cost associated with system loss from the gross receipts ng ating mga generation companies, transmission and distribution, malaking kabawasan na din po yan dahil around 5% then 5 to 10% yung system loss na pinapataw. So that will be a reduction to that po.
I will make an illustration so that our government panel here can explain also to people. Kasi kahit ako, gusto ko na mas maliwanag. And this also is consistent with Senator Lauren's question. So, pag-generate nung electricity, and that's X amount, no? Sabi mo ng 100, at yun may VAT yun. So paglabas nun, yung value na 100, magiging 112, di ba? At what point nagkakalos? Kasi nga, pag-generate nun, may VAT na yun paglabas eh. At what point na de-determine yung loss? Such that, where do you pinpoint na exclude natin yung loss? Dun yata may mga complications in the implementation of what appears to be so far the two government agencies that have spoken are in full support. But somebody has to explain to us kung paano nyo tatanggalin yun doon. Kasi pag generate nun, the moment it is generated, may nawala na ba doon? Wala pa, di ba? And nakakalculate ba, I mean, alam ba natin every time that the electricity is generated, how much ang percentage ng loss doon? Yan ba tansyahan or it's a very specific measure? So all of these things have to be answered. I don't want a specific answer now, but at some point, kasi ang hirap din naman sa mga kababayan natin, lahat tayo sasabihin natin, we support. O paano natin gagawin? Yun, ang tanong.
Madam Chair, let me exemplify. Ganito po yung nangyayari. Kunwari, distribution utility X, palagay natin Meralco or any other electric cooperative. Meralco or any other electric cooperative buys from generation A. Kunwari 10 pesos po yung nabili niya, Attorney Juan. I will not commit the mistake again. Attorney Juan, hindi San Juan. Okay. Eventually, Meralco or any other electric cooperative sells to consumers. Tama, kasi binili niya, tapos bibenta niya. Nung i-account niya lahat yung kanyang sales, 8 pesos na lang ang kanyang na-recover. So merong system loss na 2 pesos. Tama. Ganun na nangyayari eh. Bakit natin? Yung 2 pesos na yun, ito yung system loss na pinag-aawayan na natin since time immemorial. Ngayon, kung halimbawa yung generation, yung Gen A, yung generation company, will consider na yung 2 pesos talaga nangyayari na sa maraming paraan loss yun, ang Meralco, hindi na siya kukolekta ng system loss. Ganito lang kasimple yun eh. May 2 pisong diferensya kasi yung bill 8 pesos lang. Yung sale, yung kanyang purchase is 10 pesos. Pero yung total bill niya, entire the captive market is only 8 pesos. Yung 2 pisong pinag-uusapan, Madam Chair, ito yung pinipilit natin kolektahin sa ating mga mamamayan na hindi po pwedeng mangyari yun. Salamat po.